of yoga for emotional well-being online, and today we'll be combining some tapping with a lovely hatha yoga sequence to really help you release, let go, and most of all, notice. So the theme for number 2, part 2, is noticing. So join me on the mat. Thank you for joining me. Let's have a seat. We'll start our practice seated today. So if you feel comfy in thunderbolt hip pose here, you can stay right there, or easy pose, which ain't so easy for a lot of us, supported maybe even with blocks under thighs, or sitting up on a block, even better. So raising the hips can help those hip flexors and our knees. So just find a spot that's comfortable. If you need to, you can even just have your legs out. So let's really settle in here for a moment. Tuning in, slowing down, and noticing. So the theme for part 2, yoga for emotional well-being, let's just notice today. So we're not trying to fix anything, we're not trying to change anything necessarily. I mean, stuff changes anyway. It's just a constant of life. But today we're just going to tune in and notice. And to start our practice, we're going to tap away whatever we're bringing to the mat. So let's just sort of reflect here for a minute. Have you had any difficulty this week? Have you had stress? Have you been feeling low, anxious, angry, guilty, whatever it is? Let's just notice that. And for a moment, we're going to describe to yourself how that feels, what it looks like in your body, if you can feel it in your body. Maybe it's got a colour or a shape. Maybe there's an image or a memory connected with that difficulty. And we're simply going to tap it away. Now we're not going to try and tap it away. The magic is in acknowledging. So noticing, acknowledging, being with it, no judgment. Let's just try and be truly honest with ourselves about the difficulty, the emotion, maybe the thoughts you have connected with it, the stories you've told yourself, and especially how it feels. So let's just observe and notice, and then we set it up. So our setup statement 3 times here on this pressure point is, even though I feel, I completely accept myself. Even though I feel and I've experienced this difficulty this week and I'm experiencing, I completely accept myself. Even though I'm having this, I completely accept myself. So let's tap on that feeling. So start of the eyebrows, tapping on the start of the eyebrows, noticing that feeling, that difficulty, that story, that thought, whatever it is, just acknowledge it and notice it. And tap on that noticing. End of the eye here. You can even say it aloud, it's better aloud. Or inside your mind, that's fine. Just acknowledging and noticing under the eye. Acknowledge and notice that difficulty, that experience. Don't fluff it up. No need to sort of try and take it away. Just tell it in its brutal truth. Under the nose, just noticing. On the chin, chest, under the arm, and top of the head. Take a breath. So at this point here, once more, let's notice, and if that difficulty, thought, feeling, experience, memory has metamorphed or changed, you can start all over again, do it 3 times and then tap that. Or you might have noticed it's cleared, or you're just relaxed. So you have the ability online to pause the video here, rewind and repeat exactly what we just did if you've got residual stuff there. Because we want to start our practice really out of fight flight, really letting go and tuning in, because that's where the magic happens. So I invite you to do what is right for you, and if you're ready, we'll move on to our practice. So let's breathe here. Noticing where you feel the air entering and exiting the body. perhaps even noticing that the in-breath can be energizing and the out-breath is relaxing, letting go, and activating our parasympathetic nervous system. Rest and digest. A couple more breaths. And we're going to try what we call cow face arms here. So we're really sort of opening up our shoulder blades and our shoulders. So cow face is where we bring one elbow over the other, so with your breath here. And if you can hook the arms, that's fine, or you can just stay like this. And then we just lift the elbows a little bit here. Beautiful opening for the back of your shoulder blades. Deliberate breath in the pose. And then outstretch the arms and we'll go the other way. So cow face, the opposite elbow over that one, and then just lift the elbows a little bit. Breathing in the pose. Exhale. Lovely. And a couple of big breaths here. Just let's open our heart center. Look up. And then exhale, arms come down. Once more, if you can breathe in through your nose and out through your nose, that's great. Exhale. So perhaps touching the mat here just with our fingertips. Shoulders come down, lengthening the arms. Maybe just sort of rooting our energy into the ground here. A few shoulder rolls. The other way. Lovely. So from here we're going to do a little twist just to start warming up the spine. So lengthen the spine here. Inhale and exhale to twist. Look to the front, let go, and we'll go the other way. Exhale. Look to the front, let go. So removing any props you might have none. And we're just going to roll over on our hands and knees here for our tabletop cat-cow. It's always in every yoga sequence really. So this is our neutral position here. Wrists are under shoulders, fingers are spread nice and wide, and we're making sure our core is tucked on here. A couple of deep breaths. Your feet can be untucked or tucked, it doesn't matter. Find your stability. And we're just going to inhale for one cat here, arch the spine, and exhale round the spine, round the shoulder blades, looking down, and come back to neutral. So from here, we're going into down dog, but we're just going to hover for a moment, really activating our core. So inhale, lifting knees off the ground just a little bit, and inviting yourself to do a couple of lovely big breaths. Breathing through any difficulty, little smile here, being kind to yourself. And then on the exhale, we lift the hips, round the shoulders, down dog. Again, a couple more breaths. You might even like to pedal the feet out here. So our shoulders are sort of coming towards our thighs here. We're looking for a lovely triangle shape. And you might even like to bend the knees and notice the hips go higher. But we don't want to overstretch the shoulders. Beautiful. So looking towards the hands, let's walk up. Little walk all the way up. And we're coming to a forward fold. So your hands may be on your shins or your thighs, your knees, doesn't matter. We're just going to let everything go for a moment. Neck is nice and loose. Jaw is relaxed. Maybe even haaring out the stress of the week. Ha. So then a little bend in the knees here, and we're just going to reverse our swan dive. So that's basically where we bring our arms all the way around in a big circle. Inhale, lifting up, and exhale, hands to heart center. Feeling that rush of blood. It should feel lovely here. Maybe even rolling our shoulders, tucking the pelvis. And let's open our arms receptively, grounding our feet into the floor, noticing that there is all sorts of corners to our feet where the energy is going straight into the earth here. And I'm going to run through just a classic sun salutation, so Surya Namaskara A. This is seen in a lot of yoga sequences, and we're just going to take it slow. And it's basically twice, so we're going to do one side and then the other. So inhale, arms come up. Exhale, arms come down. Hinge at the hips to another forward fold. Exhale. Inhale, just half lift, flat back, opening the chest, and exhale to forward fold once more. And then we are stepping the left foot back here for a lunge. That is a lovely runner's lunge, and if that's uncomfortable, we just bring that knee down. So all of us will bring the knee down here for a lift. Inhale. Doesn't that feel glorious? Exhale, arms come down. The back, this leg meets the back leg here for a plank. So plank can be with knees off the ground or down. You make your choice. Keeping our elbows in here, we're going to push up down to the ground. And if you would like to try and roll over into chaturanga, you can do it that way, or you can push up and just go into a little baby cobra. And exhale, forehead to ground here. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, down dog. And the same leg that came back, we're lifting up. So the left we started with, we're bringing it forward here. Another high lunge or low lunge, whatever works for your body. And then the back leg comes up to meet the front leg. Forward fold. Reverse our swan dive to stand. And hands to heart center. Lovely work. Let's go the other side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms come down into swan dive, into our forward fold. Inhale, look up, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. And this time the right leg goes back. Big step into a high lunge or low lunge, your choice, yogi's choice here. And then we'll place the knee down, get some stability, core is on, lifting up. Exhale, arms come down. This leg comes back to meet the back leg into a plank. You can chaturanga or just knees down and push up to the ground. And then we hinge the hips back into down dog. Nice big breath. And then we lift that right leg. Try and bring the foot through if you can, or just walk it up, doesn't matter. High lunge or low lunge, your choice. And then that back leg comes up to meet the front leg, and we forward fold. Reverse our swan dive, and hands to heart center here. Beautiful work. Sun salutation A. Lovely. Let's take a moment here, drop the shoulders, slacken the jaw. Lovely breath, little smile to give yourself a pat on the back. And if you would like to try a little squat here, we're going to stretch these lovely feet and calves. So we're just going to see if you can bend your knees. And we're coming all the way down here. So let's go for a little squat to the ground, leaning down here. Now you may notice this is a beautiful calf stretch. So support yourself here. If you've got knee issues or calf issues or even ankles, just go real gentle. You can choose what is right for your body. I have heard the calf muscle being described as our second heart. It's wonderful for circulation, blood flow, and vascular health. So enjoy this. It's good for your heart. And then maybe just a little lift here And we're going to place both knees down, tuck the toes, and then sitting back on our toes here just for a stretch on the underside of our feet here. It's quite strong. Sitting back. How good's that? Sort of like an odd, it's like not painful, but it's pretty uncomfortable. So yoga helps us breathe through uncomfortable spaces. Coming forwards, back into neutral here. So just back into tabletop, and we'll take a breath. So from here we're going back into a downward facing dog, so tuck the toes, nice wide fingers here, round the shoulders, lift the hips, downward dog. So sort of get positioned here, little bend in the knees, shoulders are away from the ears, and we're going to do what is known as runner's stretch or pigeon. Beautiful opening for the hips. So let's lift our left leg and bring that foot to meet our wrist. Now this may not be possible for everyone. This is a very strong pose. So we've got a little triangle in our knees here, and this leg slides back. If that is way too much, because it can be too much, we can absolutely support ourselves. Put a cushion, towel. You can actually prop yourself up here. Now if that is still not great on knees, might not even be your hips, you can just roll over and do it that way. So there's almost like a four shape, and you can lean over your legs that way. So pigeon pose, hips are sort of square, and let's lift our heart space here. Beautiful, and let gravity combine with your breath to release any tension. Breathing light into those tight areas in the hips. Couple more breaths. And supporting your weight to come up, weight into the hands once more, tuck the toes, lift the hips, down dog. And we'll go the other way. So this time we're lifting the right leg, foot is coming towards that opposite wrist, and then we're sliding the hip back here so that the hip is coming towards the ground. Now once more, you can do it this way, you can prop it up, you can move your knee if that's hurting. So find a position that feels like there's a sweet spot of sort of stretching and releasing, but it's not at your edge. So inhale. And exhale, come over the bent leg, forehead to ground. Now please support yourself so that your forehead can rest somehow here. It may reach to the floor, which is great. Beautiful pigeon, couple more breaths. And letting go. So let's plant the hands, tuck the toe at the back, lifting the hips, down dog. One more time. Lovely big breaths here. Little bend in the knees to get the hips higher. Coming forward into plank, back into down dog. Look to the hands, little baby steps. Let's walk it up. Walk it up into our forward fold here. Let it all hang. And then on the next exhale, we reverse our swan dive. Inhale to come up. Exhale, hands to heart center. So let's try a balance pose. Now you don't have to turn around obviously, but I will so you can see me. So chair pose and a tree pose. I mean, they kind of end up looking like they sound. So let's sweep the arms around here, making sure our ankles are hip width apart, sweep around, and it's like we're sitting down in a chair. You can look up if that's okay on your neck. Breathe, little smile to yourself. And exhale, come to stand. Feel the heat building. Let's do that once more. Sweep around. Beautiful. Shoulders are down. Maybe sink a bit deeper and then come back up. So we're going to put the weight into one leg here, little micro bend in the knees. We're going to lift one foot with control, grabbing the ankle, placing it inside here. If this is too much, you can actually place the knee here or just here is totally fine. So it's like a little hip opener. So balancing the mind, balancing the pose. There's like a moment where you just sort of, everything disappears. Looking straight ahead, soft gaze. You may be able to find that place where you feel really centered. Lovely. And then slowly with control, let's bring that foot down. Little walk of the legs and try the other side. So slowly with control, we lift the ankle. Now find your spot. It's not a competition here. Just find where it feels good for you. Getting some centeredness in your mind. Smiling at the little wobbles and wiggles. Muscles contracting and balancing. Beautiful work. And coming back down. Lovely. So I invite you to come back down to the ground with me, so we can do a little inhale if we like and forward fold to the ground, or you can just squat down. So let's create a bridge. So lying down here, maybe even doing it the yogi way, slowly rolling the spine down. Nice work. Perhaps some windshield wipers here. We like a good side to side. Maybe even stretching the arms here. Moving with your breath if you can. Lovely. Back to center. Heels are nice and firm on the ground here. Palms are touching the earth. And we're just going to lift the hips up. And almost feel the shoulders tuck back, the weight shift back here. Now if you feel lovely and stable in this pose, maybe even sort of making contact with your hands, you can even, staying quite stable, lift one leg. And perhaps even the other leg. Nice. Big breath. And then to roll down, we lift the heels and then roll the spine slowly down. Hugging the knees to chest. Lovely little rock side to side perhaps. You might even like to try Happy Baby. So Happy Baby is another hip opener where we either grab the toes, the inside or outside, it doesn't matter. It's traditionally done with the outside of the foot, but find where it feels good for you. And it's like you're stacking the ankle over the knee and then sort of gripping on. It's a lovely spaciousness in the pelvis and hips here. Letting go of any stress or tension on the exhale. Beautiful. And then slowly letting go here. Maybe a little wiggle with the legs. You might like some ankle rotations. Beautiful for circulation. And then let's do the best bit. Shavasana. This is where it all comes together. Maybe you've got your yogi music on, some lovely relaxation, or maybe you just want to hear the air, the birds, the traffic, doesn't matter. Just notice, no judgment. Once more, let's notice the breath. Maybe what it sounds like, feels like, which part of the body moves with the air. And let's notice points of contact with the earth and completely letting go. And if you notice thoughts or intrusions, just gently returning to your breath or your body and savouring the peace. Noticing whatever comes up with gentleness and kindness, it's okay. To close our practice today, we may just do our namaste right here because perhaps you would like to stay here for a few more breaths. So the light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.